Hi, and welcome to another episode of Legislative Report. I'm your state representative, Ryan Mackenzie. Today, we're at Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Lehigh Valley, and I'm joined by Susan Bartles, the CEO. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Well, why don't you start out by just telling us about the organization and what it does?
Yep, so Big Brothers Big Sisters is about putting volunteers with children who have potential to do amazing things, and they just need a volunteer to defend that potential.
And so when people get involved in this organization, what's the hope or what's the goal of it?
Yeah, so we really want to have children be the best possible person in the future. So, for example, we'll match up a child who really maybe has an interest in sports, and the volunteer is really about developing that relationship around sports so that child can become whatever they can be in the future. Maybe they're going to be a future athlete, maybe they're going to get in broadcasting. You just don't know until you expose them to those opportunities.
Absolutely. So Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Lehigh Valley is here in Lehigh and Northampton counties, and it's an affiliate of the national organization. How many people do you service in a typical year?
Yeah, so we actually serve 400 children in one-to-one mentoring relationships.
That's fantastic. And so when you have a big and a little, tell us about what you're looking for in a big.
Yeah, so most of our volunteers are young professionals or they're retirees, but we actually take anyone from 18 years old above. And what we're looking for is somebody who has time that they can invest in a child's future. And basically we ask for 2 to 4 times a month for 12 months. And then we are really looking for people who care about children, they're going to be a positive role model and stay committed.
And so if somebody's involved as being a big, what type of activities would they do with their little?
Yeah, so we really try to match based on interests. So again, if you're interested in sports, we find a child that likes that. If you're interested in exposing a child to maybe cultural activities like the art museum, then we find a child that would be open to learning those and exploring those kinds of opportunities.
Great. And so the children who are participating in the program, what are you looking for, or what's the type of student who might be getting involved in a program like this?
Yeah, they start at 7.
Okay.
And so really we get a lot of parents who know about our program that call our office and say, I really want a positive role model, particularly for their sons, because maybe they have an absent father or maybe there was a death in the family, and so they really want a male figure for their child. But we also serve girls, and so Big Sisters or Big Brothers get paired up to the same gender.
Great. And so I understand that you guys have some great outcomes. Typically the arrangement is that people sign up to do this for 12 months, but oftentimes they end up doing it for a lot longer.
Yeah, what ends up happening is lifelong friendships come out of it. Right now, our average match length is about 30 months. And so really the outcomes are, you know, kids that have a mentor in their life feel more confident. They feel like they can accomplish more in school, their grades improve, because they have somebody that's in their corner saying, you can do it.
Terrific.
You can be something more than you realize.
Can't ask for much more than that. So you have a great location here. Why don't you just show us around a little bit and we can see the facilities?
Sure, absolutely. Be happy
Thanks.
to. Yep.
All right, so we're taking a walk around the facilities now. It's a beautiful space, some murals that were done by the Baum Art School.
Yes.
And all kinds of activities and resources here available for both the bigs and the littles to participate in. Why don't you tell us about this space and what we're looking at here?
Sure. So we actually host a bunch of match activities for our bigs and littles to come. We had an ice cream social in July. We'll have a holiday party here, and about 200 some people come into this space and they play games and they, you know, have pool tournaments and, you know, we have food that we offer them. But our long-term vision for this room is to turn it into a STEM center and have IT support and teach kids maybe some soft skills about what do they need in the workforce, and then also partner with maybe Da Vinci Science Center to really get them prepared for some of the career paths that are out there in the future.
Absolutely, that'd be great. Well, you have a fantastic space here. It's a huge amount of space, and so I guess it used to be a church before this?
It did. It used to be a church, and they had a program that with Moser Elementary School, which is one block.
Yep.
And so they were really looking for a youth-serving organization that could make sure that program continues.
Fantastic. Well, so we have the opportunity today to actually meet with a big brother and a little brother. Why don't you just tell me a bit about them?
Yeah, so big brother Bruce and his little brother William, and they come to most of our match activities.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
They have a great story to tell.
Good. Well, we look forward to hearing from them about their experience, but thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Did you know that in the corridors in the first floor of the capital of Pennsylvania, there are nearly 400 individual mosaics? The idea for creating these intricate tiles was first suggested by Henry C. Mercer in 1902. A year later, he received the commission to prove 16,000 square feet of pavement tiles for the Great Rotunda and corridors of the new state capitol building in Harrisburg. Mercer set about designing subjects for approximately 400 mosaics. He chose as his general theme the history of Pennsylvania, and he soon realized that his tiles could tell stories. Although the arrangement seems random, the mosaics are very thoughtfully placed in the floor. The tile sequence is roughly chronological, beginning at one end with the scenes depicting the Native Americans. The mosaics progress into the story of European habitation in the New World and encompass the Commonwealth's triumph through process and intervention. Now you know.
Well, we're here now with Bruce and William. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Okay.
So you're doing some coloring here, and we're here in one of the main rooms of Big Brothers Big Sisters. So, Bruce, why don't you tell us how you got involved in this program?
Well, I retired about 8 years ago, and I was working part-time, and then that came to an end. Decided there was something else I wanted to do. So I looked around for volunteer opportunities and talked to the people here at Big Brothers and thought this might be a good fit. I enjoyed working with youth. I had worked with youth in coaching for many years. And so I talked to Bob Noble, and we were able to work it out.
Fantastic. And now, how did you find them, or how did you hear about the organization?
Well, I knew about Big Brothers for a lot of years. Had heard through the newspaper and advertisements, people that I knew that were familiar with the program. And so I figured, well, just give it a shot and see what it's all about.
Fantastic. So, William, you guys get together every so often. What type of things do you do when you get together with Bruce?
We go places, and my favorite thing about going places is food.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's great. What type of food do you like?
I like burgers.
Burgers.
Tacos.
All right, that sounds good. That's great. And so you have a lot of fun with Bruce, so you guys go out to eat. What else do you do?
Sometimes we go to the park, and I go to the park with my brother and play with him.
Nice.
And we have lots of fun.
Well, that's fantastic. And you said you're in the 3rd grade,
Yep.
and you go to school. And so then after school and on weekends, you sometimes get together with Bruce?
Yep.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that's great. So what's been the best part of this experience for you?
Everything.
Do you have one? Everything. That's great. Fantastic. Well, Bruce, what's your favorite thing? It can be everything as well. That's okay.
Well, it's he has a great deal of interest in artistic work. And so we go to the Allentown Art Museum on occasion. They have programs on Sundays. They bring in local artists or people that are in that profession or interest, and they'll help the students with their artwork. We go to a place that has pottery, and we'll pick out a piece of pottery, and he'll paint that.
Oh, very cool.
And he really enjoys that. That's his favorite thing. Anything that's creative.
Yep.
I've tried to introduce him to some other areas that he may not have an opportunity. I've been an athlete or involved with athletics all my life, so I've introduced him to baseball and basketball so that some days as he gets older, neighbors and friends may come to him and say, would you like to play baseball or basketball with us? And he'll at least be introduced to the game that he doesn't feel totally out of place.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, that's fantastic. So what we're going to do, I think you also like playing air hockey, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. Should we play a quick game of air hockey with Bruce?
Sure.
All right. Let's do it. Oh! All right. It's all tied up, William.
Gotcha.
All right. So, William, good job on that game of air hockey. Very nice work. And but Bruce, there's more to Big Brothers Big Sisters than just fun and activities. What else is involved?
I think so. We try and develop the total child as far as giving them opportunities to succeed in school, succeed in society, succeed in their families, have good relationships there. So William and I, in addition to having fun activities, normally during our outings, we'll spend time reading, and then in addition to reading, I kind of quiz him on certain aspects of the story so that I understand that he knows what's going on with respect to the storyline, the characters, things like that. We'll spend time with math problems in the car. I'll say, what's 9 plus 9, what's 10 plus 7, and he seems to enjoy that. We do the same with spelling. It kind of helps pass the time on our car rides.
Absolutely.
We talk a little bit about things that he's going to run into. We've talked a little bit about gang activity. He's only in 3rd grade, but at some point he's going to be introduced to that kind of, somebody's going to approach him.
Sure.
And say, would you like to be part of our group? And how to handle that when that happens. I've asked him, speak to your mother, speak to your teacher, speak to your grandmother, his father, speak to me. Anything that gives him the idea that there's other people that he can go to without having to fall into that kind of an environment.
Absolutely.
As we get older, and we get, hopefully, I have to mention that this one story. He asked me one day, Bruce, will we be friends when I'm old? And I said, well, William, what do you think is old? And he gives me a rub of the chin. He says, 20. And I said, well, William, when you're 20, we'll probably still be friends, yes.
Or 100,000?
100,000 might be pushing it. But the idea is to expose him to as many things that he's going to face growing up as a 3rd grader, and then hopefully we are together for quite a few years, and I can help him through those times so that he grows up to be a responsible young man.
That's fantastic. So really inspirational that it's not just fun and games, but you're actually getting to share some wisdom and knowledge with William here, and that's fantastic. So really appreciate everything you're doing here, Bruce.
You bet. Thank you very much.
William?
Yeah.
What do you think of Bruce? Do you think he's a good guy?
Yep.
All right, that's great. Well, I'm glad that you were able to join us also, because we enjoyed meeting you. You're a good air hockey player, and I think you have a bright future ahead of you. You're going to grow up to be a great man, I can tell.
Okay.
All right, fantastic.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right, thank you again, William. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
I'm going to hang this up in my house.
too late.
Susan, thanks for setting us up with Bruce and William. They were fantastic. It was so great to see their relationship and the bond that they're already forming there.
I told you, lifelong friends. When he's 20, they're still going to be together.
Fantastic. So you have some activities and programs that you're working on here at the organization to help grow the organization. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so we actually have 2 programs. They kind of tie together. So we have a corporate sponsorship program, which we're calling Lead Big. And one of the components of that program is to get employee engagement. So we want companies to sponsor matches like Bruce and William, but at the same time allow their employees to know and learn about the opportunities that we have available and how they can get involved.
Fantastic. And that's a new program that you're starting?
That is a new program that we're
Great.
starting.
And so if a business is interested in getting involved in that, they would see you and sign up and
Yep, they
get
would
involved.
either call our office or go on our website and express an interest. And then it ties nicely because we're getting the corporate folks behind us to do a call to action. We're looking to get 30 bigs in 30 days.
Okay. All right. Well, that's is that
It's an ambitious goal for us.
all right? Well, that sounds great. It's always good to set big goals. So, if people want to sign up for the corporate program or the 30 and 30, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, I would definitely go on our website, which is www.bbbslv.org, or call our office at 610-432-8000.
Fantastic. And we'll have that information on the screen so that everybody at home can see that as well.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, Susan, for joining us. We appreciate you showing us around here today.
We're grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you. Well, thanks again for joining us on Legislative Report. Today we were at Lehigh Valley Big Brothers Big Sisters, fantastic organization here doing great work for our community. I'm your state representative, Ryan Mackenzie, and we'll see you next time.